Everyone, so glad to be back here on the Archangel 15. Hope everybody's doing okay. Today I want to talk about war crimes and Iraq and Afghanistan truth. As with many of my videos, I like to start off with a disclaimer of sorts. This video is not meant to be defamatory, disrespectful, or discouraging to any victims of war or their families. I pray for all the victims on both sides of the coin and hope that justice will someday prevail. This is for educational purposes only. If you do not like what I'm saying, please stop watching immediately or go watch Fox News or something. By watching this video, you agree not to take legal action against me. Again, today I want to discuss war crimes and Iraq and Afghanistan truth. Please stay with me on this. In the past, I've explained how I use divine phenomenon, psychic alchemy, and also like channeling deceased individuals and other phenomenon to postulate and advance certain theories that I have. So, like I said, this is just my supposition, and don't take it to heart. This is just what I believe and what I've come to find out. I've done some other really interesting stuff that eventually someday I'd like to bring forward, but I'm doing this one right now. Eventually you'll start to probably ask yourself how I'm still alive and didn't get killed yet. When you start to talk about Iraq and Afghanistan, how could you not start with 9/11? Frankly, there's an immense amount of work out there and other conspiracy theories and other stuff that some of it gets kind of far out there, some of it's in line with other ones, and I actually kind of like to lead my own way and not go there. I can say that I feel an immense presence from people who died on that day. I can tell you that the United States did have prior knowledge of 9/11. If you do not believe me, search Alex Jones, July 25th, 2001. You'll see that he lays out the whole entire attack before it happened and tells people to call the government and tell them not to do it. Mentions Bin Laden by name. Also, our current president, Donald Trump, had prior knowledge as well, along with many other top-level people. He was probably pre-picked for the presidency years ago, and he wrote about it in his book 18 months before the attack. You can search this, and actually also mentions Bin Laden by name. It is undisputable and undeniable that there was no just cause or preemptive basis to enter innocent countries like Iraq and Afghanistan. I can tell you that I've met a lot of good Muslims, and they're some of the best people in the whole entire world. They're very pure, very sincere, and very passionate about life and their religion and everything. They have, like I said, one of the most pure cultures you'd ever see. Like a girlfriend that I used to have who was a Muslim from Uzbekistan, she said she never even saw sex on TV until she was 15, and I've never heard her cuss or just say anything bad against anybody. The architecture in places like Iran and Uzbekistan is second to none. I don't think today with lasers and as much modern technology as we have that it could be duplicated. It's like these people are aliens, to be honest with you. Obama, a lot of people believe he was a Muslim, pretty much general consensus there, and he was probably born in Africa, and basically did horrible things to divide the Muslims amongst themselves. He created ISIS and just fueled that whole turmoil. Again, with the 9/11 stuff, there's a lot out there. A lot of stuff has been actually deleted off the internet and taken out. One of the most interesting things I think is there's like an FAA recording that was like, is this a simulation or is this an actual terror attack? And they were doing simulations of the exact same scenario like 2 weeks prior to the attack. I thought that was kind of interesting, and to my knowledge has disappeared. So to get to the heart of my presentation here, I want you to ask yourself how a small rogue quasi-governmental, quasi-militia group of individuals would ever even dream of taking on the United States in a military conflict. After all, we're the same people that detonated 2 nuclear bombs in Japan. I mean, that was in World War II. So, I mean, I'd like to think that our military capabilities have only increased since then. It's almost like they allowed 9/11 to happen so they could retaliate against innocent Muslims and gain control of the heroin supply, the oil resources, and also other resources like lithium, which is exactly companies like Halliburton did. Again, under the leadership of or the connection between Vice President Cheney and other scumbags. I encourage you to search U.S. Marines work poppy fields or 10 poppy fields, and you can see video footage of actual Marines in the poppy fields watching them and protecting these people as they did it. This is before countless Americans died from the opioid epidemic. And then now we have Donald Trump come in, and it's a big emergency and this and that, and you know, all these people suing the opioid companies. The same people that are suing them now, the federal or the state, the local municipalities, are the same people that allowed this to happen. And they shouldn't be getting a nickel from this. They should allow other people who were prescribed this poison to sue these people as well. Another presentation I'm going to do in the future. So, again, to the heart of this presentation, I want to advance the notion that the U.S. antagonized mostly good Muslims by planting IEDs and other explosives and God knows, shooting who knows what in places like schools, mosques, and residential buildings. It's probably the only way that they could entice a military conflict other than basically lying and saying that these people were behind the biggest attack on American soil since Pearl Harbor and actually attacking our Pentagon. Basically, they want to divide people, and you know, by race, by religion, gender, everything, and take your eye off of the ball and the important stuff that's really going on, and so they can rape our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and basically bring about a new world order. Americans have an ideology like it's okay for us to go around bombing people, but they can't do anything to us because they're Islamic extremists. And eventually, a lot of the people that were associated with this, they will kill off because they're going to try to cover their shit. They know that they're wrong. A lot of American soldiers that fought in the Iraq and Afghanistan war are not really heroes at all. They're basically people who are probably guilty of war crimes and crimes against humanity. Probably one of the reasons why there's such a high suicide rate among returning veterans. They probably drive into suicide, some of them, and others probably just can't live with themselves after what they went through. Again, they will not want, when it's all said and done, they will not want people to be talking about this 10, 20 years from now. They'll kill people off and bring in, you know, Hispanics and other people, and that's what they're doing pretty much to a lot of Americans. They deal with the opioid epidemic and other things as well. But the whole thing is really much bigger than this. The truth is that our country is really taken over by the Chinese and other globalist entities, and they control everything. They use our stock market to come in, line their pockets, and put us trillions of dollars in debt, and create these jobs for otherwise useless people. And I guess that's the whole point here, is to create jobs. It's kind of sad, but in my opinion, we have breached a paradigm of truth that is repugnantly irreversible. Future generations will bear this hideous scar. You need to ask, do you want your children to be purveyors of lies and chicanery, or to be righteous soldiers of veritas and human dignity? I was watching a good YouTube presentation, actually on chemtrails, kind of unrelated to this, and I saw something about Pat Tillman, the former NFL player who gave up millions of dollars on his contract to basically fight in the Iraq war. This was right after 9/11. He signed up, and it's come out that he was getting ready to release some information or to like talk about something in the public, and he was killed. And it's actually come out that I guess somewhere that he was killed by friendly fire, and his wounds were actually from American ordinances. When you get down to the heart of it, it's truly sick. our hard-earned, everybody's hard-earned tax dollars are going to support this kind of evil and enslavement. I, in the future, want to do several other videos. I hope that everybody enjoys what I do. Like I said, some of the topics I talk about are more contentious than others. I've had a few requests come in here and there, so try to cover a wide array of subject matter and hope that I plant some seeds nonetheless. Ultimately, a lot of this is somewhat old news. The same thing was going on in Vietnam, and it's pretty widely known now. And it's the evil doings of the military-industrial complex, and anybody that's ever tried to come out and speak against them usually gets killed or silenced or whatever. I am looking to start possibly selling some stuff in the future. I have like some copper bracelets. I have some trace minerals, some other DNA-related stuff, some artwork. I also want to offer some psychic alchemy services for investigation of sorts, kind of like a private detective or whatever. If you're able to support me, I greatly appreciate any help that you can give me. I have started a PayPal account at mvfreedom1776@gmail.com. Again, M is in Michael, V is in Victor, freedom1776@gmail.com. I greatly appreciate any help that you're able to provide me. I'm 100% self-run. Everything I do, connecting all the dots, all the psychic investigation, all the ideas, it's all pretty much my workings. I have a lot of stuff from a production standpoint that I could definitely improve on, like some like flash programming, some production software. But I try to keep it to the point, and I think everybody kind of has an appreciation for that. Moving forward, I always appreciate any comments that you're able to give me, and as always, again, thank you for taking the time to watch this. God bless.